Abandoned wife gives birth to twins by the roadside. Billionaire husband drove away laughing. Emily's heart shattered as she screamed in the dirt. In labor, begging for help,
Help me.
but her billionaire husband pressed the gas, laughed, and drove away. She gave birth to twins alone, by the roadside, while the man she loved left her to die. She was cast aside by her husband, left to face agony alone. By the roadside, she brought twins into the world.
My first
Her screams vanished under the roar of speeding cars.
precious baby.
When he passed by, he did not pause. Instead, he splashed mud across her body. What do you think became of her and her babies? This is the tale of a woman who bore unthinkable suffering and shame, yet carried inside her the kind of strength that can shape destiny from despair. Hello, dear family. Welcome back. Before the story begins, I have a small but honest request. Please subscribe. Your support keeps these voices alive. Each click helps us share stories that would otherwise fade in silence. And in the comments, share where you are watching from. Together, we are not only telling stories, we are keeping hope alive. The house was silent that evening. Too silent. Emily Carter sat near the wide window of her grand living room, her hands gently resting on her swollen belly. 8 months pregnant with twins, her body felt heavy and sore. But worse than the weight was the silence, heavy with rejection. Michael Carter, her husband, was late once more. Lately, he was always late. Meetings, events, endless dinners. Emily no longer asked why. Whenever she did, his replies grew short and sharp. Her phone buzzed. A message from her friend appeared. Anna, I saw Michael at the Grand Lounge tonight. He wasn't alone. Clara was with him again. Emily's throat tightened. Clara Reynolds. That name cut her like a blade. She had heard whispers, seen pictures online. Michael laughing, holding Clara's hand, as though Emily no longer existed. The sound of the front door slamming broke her thoughts. Michael's steps echoed down the hall. Careless. Proud. Michael, Emily called, her voice trembling but calm. He entered, tall and polished in his costly suit, smelling faintly of perfume that was not hers. His face still striking, almost perfect. But the warmth she once adored was gone. His eyes looked cold, distant, like those of a stranger. You're late again, Emily whispered. Loosening his tie. So what? I don't owe you. An explanation. Emily's lips shook. I'm your wife. I'm carrying your children. Don't I deserve respect? Michael laughed, the sound sharp as glass. Respect? Emily, look at you. You're pathetic. Always whining, always clinging. Do you think that's attractive? Her hands clutched the chair. I am not pathetic. I stood by you, Michael, through everything. I gave up my dreams for this marriage. I only asked for your presence. For us. Michael stepped closer, his face twisted with disdain. Dreams? His voice dripped with mockery. You had no dreams, Emily. You were nothing when I met you. A small-town girl who got lucky marrying me. Don't fool yourself. Without me, you'd have nothing. No house, no clothes, no life. Tears filled Emily's eyes, but she held them back. You loved me once. I thought I did, he sneered. But you bore me now. You're weak, useless, and an embarrassment. Do you know what people say? That I married beneath me. That my wife is unstable, unworthy of society. Emily's voice cracked. Those are lies, Michael. Lies you planted. He smirked, adjusting his cufflinks. Of course. But people believe me. And they believe Clara Reynolds is the woman I deserve, not you. Emily's heart sank. Clara? Yes, Clara, he snapped. She is beautiful, confident, from real wealth. With her, I don't feel ashamed. You drag me down. You make me small. Emily shook her head, her breath broken. How can you say this? I'm your wife. I carry your children. Children I never wanted. He barked. Do you think I asked for twins? More mouths, more problems, more reasons for people to mock me? I don't want them, Emily. I don't want you. And I won't pretend anymore. Emily gasped as if struck. Michael, please, don't abandon me now. I need you. The babies need their father. He leaned close, his voice low, poisonous. Listen well. I don't care about you. I don't care about those brats inside you. You mean nothing. Do you understand? Nothing. Her tears fell at last, hot, unstoppable. You cannot be this cruel. He straightened, phone in hand. Cruel? You haven't seen Cruel. Tomorrow everyone will know you're unstable, unfit. They'll believe you ran away. Clara and I will be free. Emily trembled. You'll destroy me. He smiled coldly. That's the plan. The room turned colder than winter itself. Emily tried to rise, but pain ripped through her body. The babies were moving violently, as if sensing the storm. Michael, she cried out. The babies are coming. Please help me. I need the hospital. He stared at her with disgust. Don't drag me into this drama. Call an ambulance, or crawl there yourself. I'm finished with you. In a heartless act, he walked to the door, flung it wide, and pointed outside. Get out, Emily. Out of my house. You don't belong here. Emily froze. You're throwing me out now? At night? While I'm in labor? His eyes were dead. Yes. Maybe then you'll understand. You were never wanted. The slam of the door was a death sentence. Emily staggered into the night, clutching her belly. Her cries vanished into the dark. The pain grew sharper. The streets stretched endlessly ahead. She was alone, betrayed, carrying both heartbreak and unborn life. The night air cut against her skin as Emily stumbled down the driveway, one hand on her belly, the other gripping the gate for support. Each contraction tore through her body, leaving her shaking. Behind her, the mansion glowed warm. But it was no longer her home. Michael had shut the door on her, their children, and their vows. She turned, praying he might follow, that somewhere in him, his heart might soften. But through the curtains she saw him, a glass of wine in hand, laughing on the phone. He never looked her way. Not once did he care. Emily's breath hitched. The contractions, stronger, crueler. She bit her lip to stop a scream. She could not wake neighbors. Michael would twist it, call her unstable again. Her phone buzzed, but then died. The screen black. God, please. She whispered, tears streaming. Don't let me do this alone. She pushed forward, slippers scraping against the pavement. Every step heavier than the last. Headlights appeared down the street. Hope surged inside her. Maybe someone would stop. Maybe someone would help. The car slowed. Emily waved desperately, tears running down her cheeks, but dread struck her chest. She knew that sleek black car. Michael's car stopped right before her. For a fleeting moment, she believed. Perhaps he changed his mind. Perhaps he'd open the door and save her. Instead, the window rolled down. Clara's face appeared, perfect and cruel. She smiled, eyes sharp with mockery. Well, Clara drawled. Isn't this pathetic? Look at you, Emily. In the street like a beggar. Michael, you should be ashamed. This is the mother of your children. Michael leaned over, his face lit by the dashboard. His smile cut deeper than hers. Children I never wanted. Emily sobbed, clutching her stomach. Michael, please, I'm in labor. The babies are coming. Don't do this. Don't leave me here. He tilted his head, as if considering. Then he leaned closer to Clara, whispering in her ear. She giggled, covering her mouth. He turned back, his eyes cold. You made your bed, Emily. Now lie in it. Crawl to the hospital. Learn you were nothing but a mistake. Emily reached out. But before she touched the car, Michael hit the gas. The tires spun, spraying filthy mud across her dress, her face, her swollen belly. Emily screamed, stumbling back, her hands wiping at her eyes, her chest burned with humiliation. Michael never looked back. His taillights shrank, then vanished. Emily fell to her knees, pain consuming her body. Her cries echoed through the empty street. Her world shattered. Betrayed, mocked, abandoned. Contractions tore through her again, merciless. She lay back on the pavement, breath ragged. Her mind fought despair, clinging to survival. Not here. Not like this, she whispered. My babies. Hold on. She tried crawling, but her strength failed. Her body shook from cold, from fear, from heartbreak. Memories of Michael's love, his vows, his words, all lies now seared her soul. Yet under the agony, a fire sparked. If Michael thought this was her end, he was wrong. She would endure. For her babies, she would fight. Her vision blurred. Another scream ripped from her throat. Headlights appeared again in the distance. But was it salvation? Or more cruelty? She could not know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please join our community by pressing the button. These stories carry voices of women and children suffering across the world. By subscribing and turning on the bell, you ensure these stories are never silenced. In the comments, tell us where you're watching from and how this story touched you. The night stretched endlessly as Emily stumbled along the roadside. Each contraction was sharper, more unforgiving. She pressed her trembling hand on her belly. Please hold on, my babies. Mama's here. But her voice broke under pain. The street lay empty. Cars flashed by, headlights blinding, then gone. None stopped. None cared. She waved weakly, but drivers turned away. Pretending not to see the pregnant woman in the dirt, Emily collapsed, her dress torn, stained with sweat and tears. Her cries filled the night. Somebody help me! She sobbed. Please, anyone! Her body convulsed, contractions tearing through her. The twins were coming now. Ready or not, the sound of another engine grew near. Smooth, familiar. Emily raised her head. Hope. Sparking. Then her heart froze. Michael's car again. The sleek black sedan slowed, headlights flooding her figure. For one breathless second, she thought, he came back. For me. She lifted her hand. Michael! She cried. Please. I can't do this alone. Help me. Take me to the hospital. The window rolled down. Clara Reynolds leaned forward. Her lips painted red, her eyes glowing with cruel delight. She laughed, mocking. Michael! Clara said. Look at her. Michael! Clara sneered, her words dripping like poison. Look at her. Lying in the dirt like an animal. This is the wife you were ashamed of, Michael. How pathetic. Emily's lips trembled. Clara, please. You're a woman. You understand. Don't do this. Don't let him leave me here. But Clara only smirked, cruel and cold. You're already nothing, Emily. After tonight, you'll be less than nothing. Michael leaned against the wheel, the dashboard light painting his face in shadows. At first unreadable, his lips curled into a smirk colder than night itself. Emily, he said slowly, his voice soaked in disdain. This is exactly where you belong, in the mud, alone. You've always been dead weight. Now you're proof I was right to throw you out. Emily's heart shattered. She screamed, reaching toward him. Michael, please. I'm in labor. These are your children. For God's sake, help me. But Michael pressed the gas harder. The car jolted forward, flinging filthy water and mud across Emily's body. It splashed her face, her belly, her arms. She choked on it, gasping as the car roared past. Her husband had drenched her with dirt while she bore his children. Her cries turned into screams. Screams of pain, rage, and heartbreak. Michael, you'll regret this. One day, you'll regret this. But Michael never turned back. Clara's mocking laughter echoed from the window as the car vanished into the dark. Emily collapsed fully into the dirt. Her body shook violently, her dress clinging, soaked with mud and sweat. Contractions tore through her like knives, merciless and sharp. There was no more time. The first baby was coming. With trembling hands, Emily pushed and screamed, her voice raw. Her fingers clawed at the earth, gripping dirt with every surge of pain. Minutes stretched like hours. The agony was unbearable. A storm inside her broken body. She thought she might die under the cruel, silent stars. But then she heard it faint, fragile, but real. A cry. Emily pulled the tiny body close, holding him against her chest. A boy. His breaths were shallow, his cry weak. No. Please. She sobbed, rocking him. Stay with me, my love. Mama's here. Don't leave me. Another wave of pain struck before she could breathe. The second child was coming. Her body convulsed, forcing her to push again. Her screams ripped into the night, her nails digging into the dirt. At last, after what felt eternal, the second child slipped into the world. A girl. Her cries loud, strong, piercing the darkness. Emily clutched them both, her heart breaking and swelling at once. One child weak, gasping for life. One child fierce, defiant. Twins, born in dirt, baptized in pain and shame. Emily kissed their tiny foreheads. I swear, she whispered, I will protect you. I'll give you a life, no matter the cost. I will never abandon you, the way your father abandoned us tonight. The night grew silent, broken only by the cries of her newborns. Emily rocked them, not knowing if she'd live to see the Sunday. Emily sat trembling by the roadside, her twins pressed to her chest. Her dress was soaked in blood, mud, and sweat, her face streaked with tears. Her body weak, but her arms strong. She held them as though her grip alone kept them alive. Her sons' breaths were shallow, each one fragile, uncertain. Her daughter cried fiercely, fists clenched at the world that had wronged them. Emily kissed them both, desperate. Don't leave me. Please, my loves. Don't leave me. Cars passed in the distance, lights flashing, then gone. None stopped. Not one soul cared. Her thoughts burned with Michael's cruelty. His laughter, Clara's smile, the mud splashed on her face. He had left her to die. The shame cut deep, but stronger than shame was a vow. You will not win, Michael, she thought. You won't erase me. My children will live. And so will I. Her head spun, her body ready to collapse. Then, footsteps, a voice cut through the night. Ma'am. Oh my God. A man's voice, rough, but kind. Emily forced her eyes open. A tall figure rushed toward her, wearing worn jeans, a faded jacket. His hands trembled as he knelt. His face weathered, but gentle. His eyes wide with shock. Are you... Oh Lord. Did you give birth? Emily tried to speak, her voice weak. Please, help my babies. Don't let them die. The man swallowed, nodding quickly. I will. I promise. My name's Daniel. Daniel Brooks. I won't leave you like this. He pulled off his jacket, wrapping it around the newborns. His hands shaky but careful, his face set with urgency. He looked around. Where's your husband? Where's the father? Emily's eyes filled with tears. She turned away. He left me. He tried to kill me. Daniel's jaw tightened, his eyes dark with anger. But he said nothing more. Instead, he scooped Emily and the twins into his arms. She felt weightless against his strength, though her body burned with pain. Hold on, he said firmly. There's a clinic a few miles down. You're not dying tonight. Not you. Not these babies. Emily clutched them tighter, whispering broken prayers as Daniel carried them to his old pickup truck. The seat smelled of oil and dust, but to Emily, it was salvation. The drive blurred, a storm of pain and cries. When they reached a dimly lit clinic, Daniel shouted for help. Nurses rushed out, lifting the twins. Emily's arm stretched weakly. My son, he's weak, she gasped. A nurse touched her hand. We'll do everything, ma'am, but you must rest. Emily collapsed, her body giving out. Hours drifted in haze. When Emily woke, the room was dim. Daniel sat in a chair beside her, his jacket gone, shirt wrinkled, eyes heavy but alert. The babies, Emily whispered, panic rising. Daniel leaned forward. They're alive. Your boy is weak, but the doctors are watching him. Your girl, she's strong. She's already crying like she owns the place. Relief hit Emily's chest. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Thank you. Thank you for not leaving me. Daniel shook his head. Anyone with a heart would have stopped. But not everyone has a heart, huh? Emily turned away, pain and shame still heavy. Outside, voices whispered. Two nurses, unaware she could hear. Terrible, really. Mr. Carter told everyone she abandoned him. Said she ran off. Left the babies behind. That poor woman nearly died. But people believe him. He's powerful. And he says his wife was unstable. Unfaithful. The story is spreading fast. Emily's breath caught. Michael hadn't just left her, he was destroying her name. While she bled in the dirt, he painted himself the victim. The noble man betrayed. Rage shook her. Michael, she whispered through clenched teeth. You've taken everything. Now you want my honor. My dignity. Daniel leaned closer. Emily, what is it? She wiped her tears. Her voice hard but steady. He won't win. He thinks I'll stay quiet. That I'll vanish. But I'll rise again. For my children. For truth. He will regret the night he left me in the dirt. Her eyes blazed with strength she never knew she carried. That night, Emily Carter was no longer the broken woman in mud. She was reborn with a vow. 5 years passed like a storm, leaving ruin and scars behind. Emily Carter was no longer the woman who once cried in the dirt. With Daniel Brooks by her side, she built a life for herself and her twins, Ethan and Grace. The nights of hunger and shame turned into discipline, work, and dignity. Their small home wasn't grand, but it was warm. Each morning filled with Grace's loud voice and Ethan's endless questions. Mom, Ethan asked at breakfast. His eyes bright. Are stars suns just far away? Emily smiled as she spread butter on toast. Yes, love. Too far for us to feel their warmth. Grace rolled her eyes. Ethan, you and your silly questions. Who cares about stars? I want to be famous here on Earth. Emily laughed. Grace was fiery, just like her mother once was. Ethan, though fragile, carried wisdom far beyond his years. Daniel still visited often. He wasn't wealthy, but his heart was steady and kind. He fixed things around the house, took Ethan to doctors, and made Grace laugh with his corny jokes. Emily owed him more than words. You're stronger than you know, Daniel told her one evening as they watched the children play. 5 years ago, I didn't think you'd survive that night. But look at you now. You've built something out of nothing. Emily's eyes softened. I didn't do it alone. You were there. He shook his head. I only opened a door. You walked through it. While Emily's world rose from ashes, Michael Carter's began to fall. Michael had married Clara Reynolds only months after abandoning Emily. Their wedding was the city's spectacle, lavish and loud. But money and beauty couldn't hide poison. Clara was manipulative, controlling. She treated Michael not as a husband, but a puppet. Obsessed with image, Michael let her pull the strings. At home, their fights shook the walls. "You're a fool, Michael," Clara shouted, smashing a glass. "You've made enemies everywhere. Do you think your empire will last?" Michael glared, pouring another drink. "Don't lecture me. You're no saint. Half my deals were for your vanity." Clara smirked. "And half your failures are because you're weak. You're nothing without me." Michael clenched his jaw. He hated her words, but deep down, feared she was right. His empire, once admired, was crumbling with scandal and betrayal. Still, he told himself he was untouchable. But destiny was waiting. Emily's and Michael's worlds would collide again. One afternoon, Emily sat at a small cafe, waiting nervously. With Daniel's help, she had built a modest clothing shop. Local women sewed garments by hand, each piece simple but beautiful. It wasn't much, but it was built with love. A man approached, smiling warmly. Jonathan Reed, a wealthy businessman known for helping small ventures. "Mrs. Carter," he said, shaking her hand. "I've been watching your shop. You've built more than clothing. You've built a story. Strength, resilience, dignity. People want that." Emily blinked, unsure. I only wanted to provide for my children, and for the women who needed work." Jonathan's smile deepened. "Exactly. You turned tragedy into enterprise. I'd like to invest. Expand your brand. Make it known across the city. Will you let me help you rise?" Emily's throat tightened. Tears gathered fast. For years, she had fought only to survive. Now someone offered her a chance to thrive. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. "Say yes," Jonathan replied, his smile gentle and sure. "Your story deserves to be heard." Emily finally nodded. "Yes, I'll do it for my children." Weeks later, Emily attended her first big business event under Jonathan's wing. The hall glittered, crowded with wealth and power. Emily wore a simple, elegant dress from her own line. Grace chose the color, insisting, "Mama, you must shine brighter than them." As Emily stepped inside, heads turned. Whispers traveled the room. Some recognized her, some did not. All saw her dignity, her grace, her quiet strength. Across the crowd, Michael Carter froze. He saw the wife he left to die. The woman he called unstable and shameful. She stood radiant, alive, respected. His glass nearly slipped. Sweat prickled his skin. Panic pressed on his chest. If Emily had returned, strong and visible, his lies could unravel. His breath snagged as fear crawled higher. Michael scanned the room again, half hoping he imagined her. But there she was, Emily Carter, no longer broken or mud-stained. Reborn, her posture straight, her face calm and bright. She didn't flaunt like Clara. Her strength was softer, quieter, undeniable. People noticed. Michael's pulse quickened. What if someone asked questions? What if Emily spoke? What if she told the truth? "Michael." He jumped at Clara's sharp voice beside him. She followed his gaze, lips curling into a sly smile. Well, Clara murmured. "Isn't that your little ghost?" Michael swallowed hard. "Don't start, Clara." She chuckled. "1,000. Relax. She looks very alive to me." Better than expected. She was supposed to vanish. Remember? That was your story. Michael's jaw tightened. She's nothing. Just a charity case. Who got lucky? Clara leaned closer, perfume thick and cloying. Nothing? Then why are you sweating? Michael turned to the bar and gulped his drink. But his eyes betrayed him. returning to Emily again and again. Emily felt the stares but kept her head high. She wasn't here for Michael. She came for her children, her future, and the women she employed. Still, the sight of Michael, smug with Clara on his arm, stirred a storm. Grace's words echoed. "Mama, one day you'll stand taller than them." That day was coming. Jonathan appeared with a warm smile. "Emily, come meet a few investors." She smiled back, though her eyes flicked to Michael. His panic made her stronger. He feared her now. That was enough for tonight. Later, Michael cornered Clara in a quiet hallway, confidence cracked. "She can't be here," he hissed. "If she talks, everything collapses." Clara lifted a brow. "Who will they believe? The rich businessman or the woman who ran away?" She smoothed her dress. "You already rewrote history. They think you're the victim." Michael's hands shook. But she looked successful. Someone invested in her. What if they listen? Clara's smirk cooled into ice. "Then we make sure they don't." Michael stared. "What do you mean?" She leaned in, voice like a blade. "If she rises, you fall. I won't let your empire crumble because some woman crawled from the gutter. We'll bury her again. So deep she won't return." Michael's stomach turned. But Clara's words wrapped him in chains. She always meant what she said. Meanwhile, Emily slipped onto the balcony for air. The night was clear, city lights glittering like stars. She breathed deep, steadying her heart. Daniel's voice echoed within her. "You built something from nothing. Stand in the light." She pressed a hand to her chest. "I'm not afraid anymore." Inside, Clara had already started her poison. She whispered to investors, dropped hints of scandal, questioned Emily's past. Each word stitched a new web meant to choke Emily's rise. Michael watched in silence, torn by fear and guilt, as Clara wove her trap. By night's end, the tension felt heavy enough to break breath. Emily sensed it, though not its shape. She knew one thing. Her return had unsettled them. This was only the beginning. The gala hall shimmered with chandeliers, the floor alive with shuffling shoes. Crystal clinked. Laughter rang. But underneath came a restless hum. Everyone seemed to wait for something to happen. Emily stood near the edge, glowing in a simple, elegant gown. No heavy jewels, yet her grace outshone diamonds. Jonathan greeted guests and waved her into introductions. Daniel lingered in the background, protective as always. He didn't fit this glittering room. His old jacket looked out of place among tuxedos, but he refused to leave Emily unguarded. "Breathe," he whispered, handing her water. "You've survived worse." Emily smiled faintly. "I know, but tonight feels important like 5 years led here." Across the room, Michael and Clara entered. Michael's suit was sharp, but his eyes were tired. His face looked pale from whiskey and sleepless nights. Clara, dazzling in glittering silk, clung to him like a queen gripping her pawn. Conversations shifted when they arrived. Whispers followed them. Everyone knew Michael. His empire was failing. Scandals. Lawsuits. Rumors. It was only a matter of time before it collapsed. Clara's gaze cut across the room until it found Emily. A slow, venomous smile formed. "Michael," she purred. "Look who's here." The ghost returns. Michael's jaw tightened. He said nothing, but Clara felt his pulse race beneath her grip. As the evening unfolded, the pressure mounted. Emily met investors, her story winning hearts without effort. Jonathan called her a woman of vision. The crowd responded. Michael watched from afar, fists clenched. Clara's smile stretched thin, jealousy burning bright. Emily wasn't only surviving, she was thriving. People noticed. "This ends tonight," Clara hissed under her breath. "She will not steal our stage." The host lifted a glass and called for toasts. Clara seized the moment, stepping forward with a bright, bladed smile. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, voice clear and sweet. "What a beautiful evening to celebrate resilience and success." Her eyes locked on Emily. "Speaking of resilience, we have a woman here with quite a story." The room shifted. Every eye turned. Clara's smile widened. "These. Our dear Emily Carter. Some of you may not know, she was Michael Carter's wife." "She chose to leave him," Clara continued, tone dripping pity. "She ran off in the night, abandoning her husband and, most shocking, her children." Gasps rippled through the hall. Michael remained silent, letting Clara lead. "Of course," she added softly. "Michael never spoke poorly of her. He raised the children alone, while she found comfort elsewhere." Clara tilted her head. "Tell us, Emily, how does one rise from such disgrace?" Whispers swirled. Some doubted Emily. Others watched, curious and tense. Daniel's fists balled at his sides. "She's lying," he muttered, ready to step in. Emily lifted a hand, calming him. She rose slowly, face serene. No shouting, no shaking. Only truth. "Clara, your words are sharp," she said, voice steady, "but they are not true. You say I abandoned my children." Emily continued, clear as glass. "He left me in labor on the roadside, covered in mud, screaming for help. He drove past with you, Clara. He splashed me as I birthed his children alone." Gasps broke like waves. Faces turned to Michael, drained and rigid. Clara laughed softly. "How convenient. Where is your proof?" "I expected that question," Emily said, nodding. "I came prepared." She motioned to the side door. It opened. Daniel stepped in with 2 doctors from the small clinic. They carried files, records, statements. "This man found me that night," Emily said, voice trembling with truth. "He carried me and my babies to safety. These doctors treated us." They remember. The doctors nodded firmly. One held a signed statement. The other spoke. "She nearly died that night. She gave birth in the dirt. We all remember." Murmurs spread like wildfire. Clara's smile flickered, then stiffened. "Doctors can be paid. Witnesses can lie." Emily inhaled deeply. Then hear Jonathan read. He stepped forward. Voice calm. Words sharp as steel. "Michael Carter," Jonathan said, facing him. "Do you remember me? You begged for my investment. I trusted you with millions. Tonight, I learned you left your wife to die and lied to everyone, including me." Michael flinched. "Jonathan, you don't understand." Jonathan raised a hand. "I understand perfectly. I invested in a coward. From now on, I invest in a survivor." The hall erupted. Some applauded. Some whispered. All eyes turned as the tide shifted. Michael stumbled, sweat sliding down his temples. "Please, Jonathan, you can't." Clara slipped her arm from his, eyes glittering with cruel delight. "See, Michael," she whispered loudly, for nearby ears. "This is what I always knew. You're weak, pathetic. Did you think I loved you? I loved your money. Now it's gone." Michael's chest caved. "Clara, don't." She laughed, sharp and merciless. "I waited to watch you fall. Now you're nothing. Less than nothing." She turned away, smiling as the crowd gasped at her betrayal. Michael staggered, his empire crumbled in a single night. Lies exposed, wealth evaporating. Mistress gone. He was alone. Emily stood tall. Her children watched from the side while Daniel guarded them. Grace's eyes shone with pride. Ethan's smile was faint but bright. Emily didn't gloat. She didn't strike him while he fell. She walked to her children instead. I told you, she whispered to herself. Truth always wins. She took Ethan's hand, then Grace's. Together, they crossed the hall, passing Michael, frozen, humiliated, broken. She didn't look at him. She didn't need to. Her dignity was her weapon. Her survival was victory. The doors opened. Emily stepped into the night with her twins. The lesson hung heavy in the air. Cruelty may win for a moment, but truth and resilience outlast betrayal. Michael Carter, once untouchable, stood in ruins. Emily Carter, once left in the dirt, walked away, triumphant, children beside her. Dignity intact, destiny reclaimed. Stories like this remind us darkness never wins over light. Join our circle, subscribe, and help us keep these voices alive.